time, and they ended up with the cube form. They built it taller, ran out of money, they couldn't finish it, so they just put the wall there to indicate the remainder of it. So when you go, that's why when you're making tawaf, you're not allowed to go between the Kaaba and that semicircular wall. There's an opening there if you wanted to walk through, but it would not be considered tawaf. It's incorrect. You must go on the outside of it, because inside there is considered part of the Kaaba. And people go there and they pray inside. Anybody can go and pray inside. And the actual Kaaba itself, the building, the final building, opened up, people go inside and pray. So we say this is clear evidence that this only represents a direction for prayer for organization of worship purposes, and it is not an object of worship. In fact, Muhammad Sallallahu has told us that one of the signs of the last day is that an Ethiopian with skinny legs, and this has nothing against Ethiopians, will go to Mecca and break down the Kaaba. What's going to happen then? Does it mean the Muslims stop worshiping if the Kaaba is broken down? No.
Two questions relating to the Jews. One is, can you please explain the shirk that Jews do? And then the other question, which is similar, in your book, The Fundamentals of Tawheed, you say Judaism is a subtle form of idolatry. Please explain.
Well, as I said, the Jews really don't need to spend much time with them, because it's such a small minority, you know. But just the issue of shirk in their worship, it is in their representations of God. God for them is their servant. Well, you have to be that. Yeah. He is their servant. He does what they want him to do. You know? They describe him in the Old Testament as repenting for what he sought to do against the Jews. Repenting to them. Asking their forgiveness. In the Talmud, he asked permission from the rabbis. Can we do this? Can I do that? What kind of God is this? The God of Israel, is their God who does whatever they want him to do. So this is where the shirk comes. They portray God not only as a human being in the Garden of Eden. Adam hears his footsteps, and then God is asking, "Where are you, Adam? Where are you?" He doesn't know where Adam is. Besides all these silly kind of portrayals of God, I mean, they do make God, as I said, their servant by giving him attributes of human beings weaker than themselves.
Another question, in the field of dawah, is it enough that we know Islam fully, or we need to know the beliefs of other people in detail? Or how would you prioritize it?
Well, the most important thing is to know Islam properly. Because if we don't know other people's beliefs, but we're able to tell them what Islam is, and they will listen to us, alhamdulillah, that's good. That's good enough, really, ultimately. We know Islam properly, we can explain when they ask questions, etc. Then this is the fundamental. This is most important, because that will save them, and it will save us. I would not advise anybody, to specialize in, Didat's arguments and all the different reading of all the different religions, and they neglect their own knowledge of Islam. Of course not. But having studied and, gotten a good solid foundation, for a person involved in dawah, it is important to know something of the beliefs of the people that you're dealing with. Because the da'i, the propagator, is like a doctor. The doctor, when the patient walks in the door, he doesn't start writing the prescription right away. Although I did experience this when I was in Saudi Arabia, You're not supposed to, right? Not supposed to. But, proper doctor, he's got to sit you down and find out, what's wrong with you. And after he's found out your illness, etc., then he will give you the suitable medicine to deal with your sickness. So the same way the da'i functions like this. Whenever it is possible, you should find out what the people are thinking, what is on their mind, what is their, what are their problems, what is the issues, what has brought them to the point that they're in right now. And by understanding that, then we can give them the necessary or the suitable remedy to clarify for them what Islam is.
There's another question here relating to the Mormons from Utah, Salt Lake City. And apparently they're very heavily subsidized. They stay here for 2 years and spread their kufr around. So could you enlighten us a bit about them, inshallah? A bit about their beliefs and...
Brother, also about, sorry to add one question also, inshallah, about their beliefs, and also the fact that Mormons have this uncomfortable thing among black people, because it's part of their belief to say we're cursed by God. So they kind of tread water and try and explain it to us. This is part of their belief that all black people are actually cursed by God.
Although that's been modified already, you see. Yeah, it's been corrected. Their belief is that their elders who run the organizations are prophets, right? They receive revelation because of course, the early Mormons, they were polygamists in the wildest senses. They would have like 20, 30, 40 wives, and they were functioning. Even till today, you can still, ones who didn't submit to the changes, right? In about I think it was the 30s or so, the American government threatened them to take away statehood from them, take over their states, unless they cancel this polygamy. So, shortly after that, the elders received revelation that the polygamy was now canceled. But some of their followers, they didn't agree. They said, no, we're not going with this one, right? So they just kept on going. So I've seen when I'm back in Canada, I saw some programs that I interviewed with Mormons. This guy's got 13, 14 different wives. And it's like he's running a factory. All the wives are out working and everything. He's just, the administrator, right? They have, their beliefs and things have been modified, changed all along. And similarly, this idea about blacks, blacks could not become elders or could not become even ministers. They have another name for their ministers. But they couldn't reach the stage. There could only be followers, just name them. And they wouldn't be included. They have a particular mountain vault in which the names of all the Mormons are kept, and their marriages are kept intact for the next life, and they're looking out. It's like the pharaohs and stuff. They have a similar thing. Now they've been integrated. So they had received new revelation which removed the curse.
The Bible substantiates
well, the curse on of Ham, right, on the son of Noah, right, and the Talmud actually goes into a little more detail, about being cursed to be the hewers of wood and the drawers of water for his brothers and so on and so forth. But you see, there is nothing in the Bible that says Ham is black. Actually, but of course we don't believe in that anyway, this curse business. But I'm saying. But it's been typically put, that's why the Hamites end up being, in their biblical history, they end up saying that these are black people are descendants of the Hamites. Right? So.
Another question here. Could you please clarify whether Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, allowed one particular form of fana that some Muslims keep quoting?
Well, I would not imagine that he accepted the principle of fana as taught by Sufism. He did speak about people who, amongst the Sufis, who on hearing Allah's name, fell into a faint. They would go unconscious, right? He didn't prohibit it, but he pointed out that this was not a better state or a superior state, something to be sought. He pointed out that this was a weakness on their part, because the Sahaba were not known to do this. Allah's name was